Vampire Survivors lets you become a master in the study of applied genocide, as you commit mass murder on an unprecedented scale to get your next dopamine hit. This game is more addictive than freshly baked crack cocaine and has been scientifically engineered to maximize neuron activation in the primate brain. You play as one of over 10 vampire hunters, among them the world famous whip-slinging Antonio, or famed son of Dracula, Arca, or some old man whose weapon of choice is the stench of garlic. There's also a funny skeleton man. He is the best character in this game. Like in real life, your goal is to survive. Unlike in real life, there are hordes upon hordes of creatures waiting their turn to try killing you by getting into your personal space. It is basically Dynasty Warriors, except a bit more historically accurate. This game offers a vast control scheme to master. First, use WASD to move. Congratulations! You have now mastered the controls. The story in Vampire Survivors is something about chickens, I think. I'm not really sure. The only thing I've understood so far is that my parents lied to me about green vegetables. Chicken is your only friend. The broccoli is actually evil in this game. As you move through the currently 4 stages available, you automatically use your arsenal of weapons to murder your countless enemies and pulverize them to their base molecules, which upon they will drop these colorful gemstones. These gems act as your experience. And if you are like me, these gems will be burnt into your retina for you to see every waking hour. I actually went to a club a couple of nights ago, and my drunk mind was mesmerized by the moving lights on the ceiling, whose green and red hue was quite familiar. Man, that's a lot of XP. And don't even get me started on the dreams. Oh, the dreams. Anyway, a level up gives you the chance to either choose a new weapon or passive ability, or to strengthen those you already have. Optimize your movement to get as much XP as possible, so you can level up until your death turns from a theoretical unlikelihood to a statistical impossibility. You have many weapons at your disposal. Use your Bible to convert your enemies to the religion of instant death. Garlic to have your enemies instantly disintegrate just by your fragrance. Summon birds to bombard your enemies with what I believe to be actual shit. Shoot your enemies with a magic fire shotgun. Throw your literal humerus at your enemies. Or live out your strangest fantasies using a whip. Hey, I'm not king shaming. And these are only a few of your available tools of destruction. The passive abilities range from making you faster, stronger and harder, to giving you revives or more projectiles to work with. There's also one that just makes your enemies stronger. That's pretty good. Well, I'd advise you to get as many weapons as humanly possible, and to strengthen and multiply them. The only downside, destroying your eyesight. But that is a small price to pay for the annihilation of your enemies. Then there are randomly spawning items that give you money to spend on permanent upgrades and characters, the ability to stop time that every proper vampire should have, the nuclear option, and collect this orb to instantly orgasm. Speaking of orgasms, there's also these treasure chests available, which give you money and free upgrades. And when you get the big boy chests, now that's a dopamine hit right there. I'd advise skipping the Viagra tonight. Combining your weapons with the appropriate passive ability, you gain an evolved weapon, which I like to call weapons of mass destruction. Once you have these weapons, the controls become a bit simpler, as the need to move just sort of disappears. At this point, it is probably harder to die than to win. When you start this game, you may experience a bit of pushback. Things might go pretty well until a swarm of bats destroys you, or an endless army of skeletons appears that makes you wish for just a crumb of chicken. But, as you will soon realize, these early roadblocks will soon be nothing but free XP, until you meet these werewolves and giant bats. They are just actual assholes, but even that shall be manageable in due time. And you will be able to conduct an analysis of the nutritional composition of the blood of your enemies. In Vampire Survivors, any route you go is the genocide route. Even though they are called vampire hunters, they do not know discrimination when it comes to annihilating races. Murder bats, your fellow skeletons, literal flowers, and even slimes that kind of look like wood. The slimes looking like wood comes thanks to the simplistic graphics this game possesses. Or maybe it's just me being pretty damn stupid. But the graphics are quite enjoyable if I do say so myself. They are simple and charming, and probably the only way to have this game work without leading to my PC causing a great nuclear disaster to rival Chernobyl, though they are at times suspiciously similar to certain other games. The soundtrack too, while simple, makes the murder quite enjoyable, at least for the first couple of rounds until it becomes a tad bit repetitive and starts burning holes into my auditory cortex. When I came upon Vampire Survivors, the early access tag had me a tad bit scared, as it's usually enough to have me run as far from a game as possible, but the price tag of €2.39 and the fact there's seemingly constant updates coming out convinced me to give it a shot. It's the sort of game you play for 5 hours straight, and after being away from it for 30 minutes, you feel the urge to return to it. It's fun as hell. So you gotta get all the money, get all the achievements, get the upgrades, get the unlocks, and then realize that it's still in early access and that you gotta wait for more. But I mean, it's $2.39. If you don't already have it, what the hell are you waiting for?